Okay, so I'm allowing you guys to see what happened to my phone and why it's good to not. I'm actually, you know what? I'm actually happy that it's working now. Because since I started recording it, it's been working. Yeah. Okay. Since I start, yeah. Here it goes. I have another recording. I'm gonna put both of them up. But my finger accidentally ended the first one. But yeah. Do not see this. You see how it popped up and do that dumb stuff. Do not. I repeat. Do not tell people what God is blessing you with. Let me see if my Audible works because I'm trying to listen to the power forever. Yeah. Don't tell people. Do not. I repeat. Don't tell people what God has blessed you with. Don't even, like, I already know. And I'm going to leave it up to God for when this will take place. But I know. See, this is my butt. This is my shape. This is actually my avatar. And the funny part is when I put this as my screensaver to, like, manifest it, because I already know this is how my shape normally is when I'm skinny. That's when my phone was acting retarded too. But yeah. So yeah, don't tell people what God is blessing you with. Now it's doing that stupid. Wow, all I needed to do was record this phone for it to work. When I tell you, and it still hasn't acted retarded. Oh, it is doing. It still does what it wants, but still, it's working better than what it was. No, but when I tell you what I have learned since I've been gifted to these levels, or seen per se. Okay, now it's doing what it normally does. And then I have to turn it off. And look at my big old booty again. Yes, when I tell you, since I could see, I learned that when people are plugged into the matrix and they sold, like if someone sells their soul in a past life, they're not selling their soul. What they're doing is they're selling away their white light. And when you sell away your white light, you are making it to ways you can't control your dark actions. So, say for instance, in a past life you sold your soul, and then in you're reincarnated, because everyone's always reincarnated whether you believe it or not. And then you're reincarnated, and this is how it normally wants to do. Good. It's showing its true colors finally. But no, when you're reincarnated in your next life, you no longer are the light being that you once were, because in that particular past life, you sold your soul and no longer have your light to stop you from doing the stuff that you normally wouldn't do if you had light. Like, say for instance, if you come from a benevolent planet and you come to Earth and you're tired of being poor and all this other stuff, this third dimensional lie and illusion, um, This third dimensional lie and illusion. Okay, yeah, this is normally what it does. Yeah, it's back to showing its true colors. Yeah. Yeah, that's perfect. The lie and illusion, and you're like, oh, I want to be rich, but you're forgetting that your soul, all benevolent souls, I'm not gonna lie, come from wealthy planets. They don't come from poor planets, because the abundance of one's soul is the abundance of one's planet. And so you come from a rich planet, but you wanted to have a poor experience. Yet you forgot that when you got reincarnated, you just came here to have a poor experience. You don't remember. All you see is everything is like, oh, I got my Gucci, my Louis, my Prada, and all this other stuff. And you see all these rich people traveling the world. And it's like, you reincarnated and forgot. So the object of this video game, which you call life, is to have the experiences that you chose. Some people choose to murder people. Some people choose to be raped. Some people, it's a lot of choices. And that's why Earth is the land of choices. A benevolent soul cannot do anything that a black soul can do on their planet. And the only way they could do some black shit is if they come to Earth and sign up to have that experience, so they don't lose their life. It's just a whole like dynamic of a hierarchy that most of you other souls will never be able to comprehend. And so all white souls, that's like, when I see a white soul, I'm like, oh, that's my brother and sister. Like, I rarely see a white soul in someone with brown skin. I'm not even gonna lie and fake the funk and pretend I don't see. Like, hands down, on both of my hands, that's it. That's the amount of brown skinned people in America that I see in white souls. Now, like, people that come from Africa, I do see them white souls mostly like benevolent energy, mostly in African people from Africa. And I just I don't consider, I used to be, because I'm Afro Latina, I used to be like, oh, Africans are my people, and Latinos and Latins and blah 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 blah. Or no, not anymore. If your soul is white, then you're my people. If you could comprehend the knowledge that I am divulging right now, then you're my people. And that's the reason I created Golden Rising YouTube channel, because I wanted it to be for people. But yeah, so I don't understand. Yeah. So, yeah, I know I'm playing with my phone and you probably like, why can't we see your face? But the reason I'm showing you this phone through the whole thing, because this hopefully will remind you not to tell people anything that God blesses you with. As you trying to do homework online, you're stuck in quarantine, you know? You can't go anywhere, you know? This is stuff you're gonna have to deal with. Let's see if I could do some Prime Wire. Watch a movie, wouldn't talk to you guys. But yeah. See, yeah, this is what it normally does. It doesn't really let me do much. But yeah. So always remember, when you speak outside of yourself, there's a possibility that your own shadow self can hold you back. Yeah, this is my phone. Likes to talk in Morse code. But yeah, your own shadow self could hold you back. So always remember that. So when I like, people always like, oh yeah, let's write a journal, you know, and a to-do list, you know, you gotta put it all down. My soul innately chooses, has always chosen not to do that. And I've never understood why. Like, never. Never understood why. Never understood why. And I was like, why aren't I the type that pretty much like telling people, like, back in the day, I used to stunt. I'm not gonna lie. I used to be a mad stunner. Like, yeah, I got all this, got all that. But I noticed that by me, I didn't really show people. Like, I would post on Facebook here and there. But I noticed that when I shared it to the world or outside of me, bad stuff would come. And I was like, what the hell is that? And I had to realize, even I had a shadow self. Like, my shadow self is still working. I'm still raising her frequencies, you know. I'm still trying to figure out how to keep her from getting angry, you know. I'm still trying to figure out how to make it to where she chooses to love even people with black souls, because that is something that she chooses not, because in her past life she had an experience when she sold her soul. And the reason I chose for her to come in this life with me, because I wanted to help her heal. And we choose the spiritual guides, the higher selves that we choose, you know, to have a human experience with. That's a choice. And it actually has been a hard journey, because I'm not gonna say wishes that she could still do the dark and twisted stuff that, well, only thing she wishes she could do is get away with doing dark magic. Because in her mind, dark magic made her manifest faster. You know, in her mind, dark magic made her life easier. And when you sign yourself to light, you can't really do dark. And I'm a very meticulous light being, and I choose not to allow anyone in any of my aspects do any black shit, nothing around me. And she had an experience this life, because sometimes our aspects forget, you know, our higher self will forget that it's supposed to be a higher self, and it's actually out living through us versus guiding us. Sometimes our middle self, sometimes our spiritual guide will take over the body and be like, oh, I'm gonna live a life, and they forget. And so she had an experience where from 18 to 24 she was out, and she forgot who she was, she forgot what she signed up for, and all the black people that she was around, like brown, I'm not gonna say black, but black souls with brown skinned people, because that was all she was around. I'm not even gonna lie and say they didn't have black souls. Like, from the time I was 18 to the time I was 24, observing her experience, being an aspect within it, observing her experience, all the people she's ever encountered, between her fake best friend that she met in Job Corps, between the people we had sex with that were still in our energy that she wasn't aware that we were, the more lighter aspects were in danger, enduring that experience. But she never encountered not one brown person that had a white soul. So they envied her, was jealous of her, and wanted her to act black, wanted her to act ghetto, and acted crazy, shot guns at her, you know. And so she had an experience acting black, but that was draining to the more lighter aspects, because cursing, you know, at really is not permitted upon benevolent turf. Like, the higher your frequency is, if you're still cursing and you're a healer, then you still have shadow work to do. You're not really at the benevolent frequency like you presume you are. And even with her, and she'll come through and she'll be cursing and stuff, but at the end of the day, like, it's a learning experience. But anywho, it was hard because she was still angry at people that had a black soul, because, like, in her galactic experience, she became a PAO galactic detective. And PAO galactic detectives, they don't see flesh color. All they see is a black soul. And I don't care. If a PAO galactic is a cop, I feel sorry for the black soul that is near that PAO galactic cop. I mean, an officer that is living on Earth with a spiritual soul that is a PAO galactic detective, judge, whatever. Because they're automatically trained to kill blackness. They're trained to erase it, to get rid of it, to not even associate with it. So I was teaching her to be more loving because, yeah, from a benevolent planet, but we do not discriminate against people for having a black soul. No, they're not allowed to come on my planet, don't get me wrong, but I'm still going to give them love from a distance. I wouldn't open my gates to them and be like, yeah, come on my planet. Heck no. Not even going to lie to you and say that that would be experience that they would be having. They wouldn't even be able to step foot on my planet. And a lot of black souls are searching for my planet as we speak and will never be able to find it. So it's been a hard journey, and I'm grateful that even though it took some years for us to break through and to figure out how to integrate and how to become one and how to connect to our higher self, because that's our only purpose, is integration, oneness. And our purpose as benevolent beings is to brighten our light on earth. And a lot of benevolent beings are surrounded by so many black souls, even their families. Like, I can't lie, my father and my mother were the only white souls born out of both sides of my family. So that should tell you. Me and my sister were the only white souls in our family. Period. My favorite cousin is more balanced, so that's why I love her the most. Like, but out of the rest of them, there's no ounce of whiteness or benevolent energy or benevolent aspects in them. And so I made this video because I wanted to bring awareness to people about the energy they surround themselves around. If you're benevolent, trust me, you will know, because your intuition will not allow you to do harm to anyone, not at all. And if you do, it'll make you sick for doing it. This is how you know you're a true benevolent soul, is because if you are given the opportunity to rob, steal, shoot, and kill, and your choice is to starve, you're benevolent. If you are placed in the predicament where you have pressure around you, pressure, and your life is falling apart, but you're still choosing to be happy through all that, you're benevolent. And black souls that have no light at all they will not. If they are put in the same predicament as a benevolent soul, they will shoot, kill, rob, rape, pillage, just to get a better upper hand, because that's just what black souls do. And don't surround yourself around black souls. If you're a kind, compassionate, generous person, don't tell them nothing you're about to do. Don't tell them about the businesses you're going to open. Don't tell them about the books you're going to write, because trust me, their shadow self that's lurking within them is way blacker than their black aura they exude. And trust me, they will be in the other realms bringing stuff to you to stop you from doing that. And people need to become aware of that. Just like this virus that's out. I am so grateful that I am raised my frequencies to these levels, because the virus will not be able to permit or tarnish or harm or kill a benevolent energy or frequency, agape love frequency. The virus is going to kill all black souls. And I'm sorry to say, I'm grateful of this experience. of choosing love, of choosing light, because that's what this virus is going to force all of us to do. It's going to force us to choose love. It's going to force us to choose light. It's going to force us to raise our frequencies to a better omnipresent experience, you know? And you have to be aware of the energy you exert out. You have to be aware of your own aspects. Like, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that I trust my more lower frequency aspects wholeheartedly. I'm not, because I would be lying in saying that. Yet, I love them. Although they are my brothers and sisters spiritually, like wholeheartedly spiritually, come from the same spiritual mother, as above, so below mother. And they've had harsher experiences than me and my other light aspects. So I'm not to the space where I will trust my dreams with them. And I can't lie and say that. Like, at the experience that we are, I know it's because of my more lower frequency aspects. They don't want to go within themselves and heal themselves from what they did in the past. That turmoil that's within inside of their own soul is not allowing them to want to see, you know? So I'm having blocks on my third eye because my aspects in, like, the Jung theory, the Jung theory, teaches you to heal all your aspects, from your bleed throughs, from past life experiences, the traumatic experiences, because the soul's DNA is different than the flesh's DNA. And if I broke it down to the module X standpoint, then you'd be like, oh yeah, she's dead on. But most people probably will not understand that, or probably be like, you can't even fathom the existence of how the soul controls the flesh, because it does. Like, if a neurologist truly understood the mind of the soul, they would be trillionaires. And I'm just gonna keep that on the hush, because, you know, you gotta pay me for the rest of that information. But yeah, if you guys would like more information on how to shield, how to ground, and how to learn how to go within, yeah, but like, I'm not gonna lie, lately, since we've been stuck in quarantine, I am proud of my more lower frequency aspects. They have been going within and healing, especially after this phone broke. Like, they looked at it as like, oh, they're still broke but fixed and running and able to charge, so they need to make it to where they're fully running. And I appreciate them for that, because, like, I signed up to have an abundant life, you know, not to just be. Yet I understand at the same point that in order for us all to be one and coagulate together to have an abundant experience, we had to have this experience. Just like some of my aspects are highly freaking intelligent in the spiritual realm, you know? Like, I have 4 aspects that are like, if they explain the world to you from the spiritual world, you would like fall apart, you know? But they were never well read in the 3rd dimension. So in none of their lives they were well read in the 3rd dimension. And in the English per se. See, they lived in olden days, or, you know, in the times where the English language didn't exist. So they do not understand English homework. So, like, if someone was to come and, you know, try to hold a very upheaval conversation with them, they wouldn't be able to grasp the terminologies that a person is saying. Like, say for instance, you went to college for psychology. Those 4 aspects within me would give you a headache. Trust me, because they give me a headache trying to explain stuff to them too. And because in my lives, I never went to. I've only had. I've never had lives on Earth. All my life, I have been just sitting on my planet. Yet, I did study the Earth, um, the Earth's English, philosophy, and quantum theory, and the the new. I studied the New Thought authors. Um, what else? I studied a lot of Earth terminologies before I came into existence, so that's probably why um I can articulate at a better better. It's just weird, yeah. But they haven't. So, like, if you were to speak ancient Spanish fluently, then they would be able to hold a full conversation with you. Like how Mexicans speak Spanish, they will not be able to understand all the way. And Latin, ancient Latin, not the Latin that they teach you that's watered down, but the first, the first, the first angelic dialect of Latin, they know. But yeah, and even being in the flesh, I've noticed that the knowledge that I once had has regressed because I really don't study it anymore. If you could understand it. But lately, I have been studying it, and lately, I have been making it a point to study it. Yeah, but the reason I created this video is to remind people that as long as you are a benevolent soul, do not fear, do not fright this virus. I don't even like saying it. I just like saying virus because no virus can make you dis-ease. It can only make a low vibrational being dis-ease. It actually could rip apart their flesh and eat it alive. Any virus. So, hey, good luck, good hunting, goodwill, and you guys have a great rest of your day and a prosperous life filled many blessings and adventures. I'm about to see if I can watch a movie on this little dilapidated, lovable phone. Bye, guys.